Video games are rated, whatever they're rating, for a reason. M means mature. Could playing violent video games have an effect on the brain, even change your brain in some way? Well, researchers at Indiana University School of Medicine believe they're onto something. They tested two groups of men, even scanned their brains. One group played violent video games for 10 hours over the course of a week, then did not play for one full week. The other group did not play video games at all. The group of gamers showed less activation in the left inferior frontal lobe. Okay, you're saying, what does that mean? Well, Joseph Stevens, assistant professor at North Carolina A&T State University. Good morning.
Morning.
All right, so what does that mean, less activation in the left inferior frontal lobe?
Well, in this particular experiment, this is a part of the brain that's sensitive to differences in the emotional meaning of words during a certain kind of task that they were having these men do. So something to take away from this, the statement that there was less activity in this part of the brain is basically saying that the brains of the men who played the video game were less sensitive to the difference between violent words like, say, kill, and emotionally neutral words like, house or something like that.
Okay, so we've seen studies kind of like this before with video games and what effect they might be having on people. How is this one different?
This study is interesting because of the fact that they randomly assigned the two groups of men who had very little video gaming experience prior to the study, and then they saw this change in the brain response of the group of men that did the video game playing. So it's easier to conclude strongly from this study that it was the video game that changed the brain response. What the study doesn't do is link that particular brain response to something like becoming a more aggressive person or something like that. Now, that kind of link has been shown in previous studies between playing video games and aggressive behavior, but this particular study doesn't really show that.
Okay, well, but every experience causes changes in your brain, right?
That's true. I mean, that's one way you can think about your brain, is that if you can remember what you had for dinner last night, that's because something in your brain changed. All memory is due to changes in the brain. Anytime you learn something, your brain has changed. So every experience you have really is changing your brain, and if you think about it that way, the things that you're doing are going to stick with you for a while, and you might want to think about whether they're changing your brain in a positive or negative way.
Okay, and so that's why they have to keep doing all these studies, because you have to pinpoint that that's actually the reason the brain changed.
Exactly.
And so that's why we're going to see more and more of these. All right, thanks so much for your time and your thoughts this morning. Certainly appreciate that.